Super Review Show here, and this is Andrew Schultes, by the way. He is guest starring on some videos we're going to do today this is our review of Creed, the new movie Creed that has just been out. It just came out today. We just got to the earliest showing possible to see this awesome movie. Why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself first? And what did you see going into Creed?
Well, as seeing Creed, I have not seen any of the Rocky films, so this was actually...
Shame on you, by the way. Shame on you.
This is actually a quite interesting movie for me, because due to the fact I've never seen any of the Rocky films, I did not know what to think of it. But overall, I had a good time seeing this movie.
Yeah, I mean, so he's not a Rocky fan. I am a Rocky fan. He went into this movie going, I've never seen a Rocky movie. My friend's going to check it out. I figured I'd check it out with him, so there we go. So we're going to get into some casting and also some spoiler plot points. So if you do not want to know anything about this incredibly awesome movie that we're about to talk about ahead of us, you've been warned. Spoilers ahead, my folks. Spoilers ahead. But here we go with the cast of Creed and also some plot points. So spoilers ahead. You've been warned. Here we go. So, what did you like about the cast in this film? First of all, we have Michael B. Jordan in this movie, who plays Adonis Creed. Rocky Balboa himself, Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
We have a quick Google search caught me up with her. Tessa Thompson as Bianca in this movie, who plays the Creed love interest in the movie, as well as Felicia Rashad, who plays Mary Ann Creed, or Creed's mother, for those of you who did not know that, and Tony Bellew, who plays Pretty, Ricky Conlon. So, first, before we get into some story points, what do you think about this cast?
It was a good casting overall. I was actually quite impressed with it. Mm-hmm. I have not heard any other actor other than Stallone, so I was quite impressed with how good the acting was in the movie. And
would you say that the directing of this movie was was it on par? Was it a little off? What did you think about the overall storytelling of this movie?
It was a really good storytelling. I was actually really impressed with it.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. And you think that everyone showed their Oscar or their potential, their awesome performances? Like Michael B. Jordan has never looked better in a movie.
Yeah, was it like you see him as a tough guy at first, but then there's some moments where he breaks down. In the scene when he's in that jail cell where Rocky comes in. That was a good scene.
That was a good scene, folks. But yeah, so that's just our rundown of the cast in this movie. Now let's get into some plot points of what we got going on here. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to start this one off. The movie opens up with a scene in juvie. For those who don't know what juvie is,
juvenile detention.
It's basically what he just said, but it's a jail for delinquents.
Yeah, it's basically just like you can't throw a kid in jail, so they throw him in juvie.
Exactly. There you go. So it opens up with young Creed in juvie. It opens up with him fighting with another inmate who's just he's beating him up. He's like, he made fun of my mom, and then his mom visits, and that's how this movie opens up. And like, I'm ready to go see Creed, It opens up with him, and then eventually his mom takes him home after that. Oh, he doesn't know it's his mom, though. He thinks that it's his foster mom, but apparently it is his real biological mother. And then I want to get your input on this next part of the story. And then we cut ahead to Creed, all grown up now, and then he's like, Mom, I quit my job today. I'm going to go out to Philadelphia. I mean, that was a really bold move, right? I mean, if he wants to track down Rocky, where else to go?
Yeah, I mean, that's where Rocky made his fame.
Yeah, I mean, Rocky, yo, Adrian, yo, Adrian. That's where he took off. That's his hometown. Philadelphia is Rocky's, big jam, if you will. It's big jam. And I would say also that Creed has to prove himself to Rocky, because Rocky's like, I'm sorry,
you're just a kid.
You're just a kid, yo. You think you're Apollo's son? Hey, hey, just calm down. No, but you see, like he's saying there, he had to prove himself to Rocky, saying, look, I am his son. You may not realize it, but I am his son, and I have to prove myself to you that that's what I'm going to do, yo. So that was actually a really good point. And the chemistry, I want to get your input on this. The chemistry between Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone really worked out in this movie. How'd you feel about that?
Well, Sylvester Stallone is just like, he just tried to ignore Michael B. Jordan. He's just like, oh yeah, you're just a kid and all that stuff. You just want me to train you. I don't want to do that. I'm too old for this now.
Right.
And then Michael B. Jordan just keeps on pushing him and just like, yeah, come on, I want to do this and all stuff. I want to be a boxer.
But he's like, yeah, I want to get out there. I want to do this. I want to fulfill my father's dreams.
And then eventually the two form a bond. And it's like, yeah, I'm a trainer now. I'm going to teach you some good moves.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, let's face it, folks, when you form a bond, that's a pretty tight commitment right there. All right, for those of you who are family men out there, this is a movie for you too. But yeah, and also I want to get your angle on this too. I mean, we literally just got out of the show.
Yeah.
Rocky gets cancer in this movie, and I'm not gonna lie. For those of you who've seen me for a while, I mean, I'm very attached on something. I mean, the Rocky franchise has a very special place in my heart. The fact that he has cancer now, just kind of like he saw it too. Like I started to cry a little bit. I'm like, no, like this can't happen. Like you fell in love with this guy since 1976. Well, I wasn't alive then, but I've seen all the movies. So I'm like, you grew up on this guy, and you're like, he has cancer. What the? You're flipping out.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw me. I was crying. Like, what'd you think about him getting cancer?
I felt like it would. Good. Well, see, when you grow old, eventually your immune system will break down. You're gonna get illnesses. I think it was a good call from the movie,
right?
To do it. I'm not sure it was completely necessary. They could have maybe had someone else, like maybe Creed's love interest, maybe or something.
Right. I didn't think about that. That's good.
But it was I was okay with him having that. It felt like wasn't really completely necessary.
Yeah, I know. I got you. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I think that Rocky getting cancer, I think it's time, though. I think it was time for him to move on to that segment of his life where he's like, yo, I was this great fighter, and now I've reached this point in my life where I'm like, I'm just a guy owning a restaurant. I want to move on with my new life ahead of me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very emotional part of the movie. I mean, it was a very emotional part. I heard someone like, but someone behind me actually was like, they started sniffling because I'm like, the moment they said that, I'm like, my heart sank. I'm like, no, this can't happen. I was like, I'm flipping out. I'm like, ah. Yeah. So, but yes, Rocky does get cancer eventually in this movie, and that's, I mean, it's a sad part in any not just in Rocky's life or in anyone's real life, anyways. But now let's jump ahead a little bit after he gets cancer. So the final fight between pretty Ricky Conlan and Adonis Creed, you have this fight between the two of them, and the long drawn out fight. He fights just like his dad. I mean, I would say that Michael B. Jordan probably, wouldn't you say this, that he actually looked at a lot of the past Rocky movies, like Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3.
Yeah.
And he probably watched those. And he'll actually, there's a scene in the movie that he actually watches the fight from Rocky 2 between Rocky and his dad. And he's like, I could do that. He's going at it and stuff like that. For someone who's never seen the Rocky movies, would you be under the impression that he probably did that?
Maybe. It's hard to say, really.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
But overall, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's his father. He wants to be a fighter just like his dad.
Right.
So he's studying the moves of the greatest.
Right.
To become the greatest.
Of course. I mean, if my dad was a fighter, I'd probably study it, and he died. I would study after him too. Believe me, I guarantee you I would. But eventually, after this long drawn out fight, he actually, his left eye gets completely sealed, and he can't even see it. He's one eye. He's knocking down pretty boy Ricky over there on the other side of the ring, and he's slowly taking him down bit by bit, and then, but Adonis, it comes down to a split decision. And those of you who've seen Rocky 6 or Rocky Balboa, Rocky gets into a split decision, but he loses, and so does Adonis. Adonis loses after a split decision in this movie, and I think that was the right call, because if they want to set up a sequel,
yeah, it did feel like they set up a sequel. I mean, if they have him win, if they have Adonis beat the greatest boxer
in the world right now,
how are they gonna transition to the second movie?
Right, how are they gonna progress that? That's right.
It's like, who are they gonna fight next? He's the greatest.
Exactly. But eventually, I think that we will see a Creed 2 at some point. Maybe it'll just be called Creed 2. Maybe it'll be called Creed, the Adventure Continues, or not the Adventure Continues. That's Indiana Jones. But like Creed, the story continues, or the continuing life. I don't know. So they'll find a cool way around it. And maybe you'll see Creed win in that fight and in that movie, and maybe show some more struggles between him and his love interest, who Bianca in this movie. Maybe like they'll show the progression of him and maybe the progression of Rocky. For all we know, Rocky could die if they make a second movie. I mean, there's 6 Rocky movies, and there's this movie right here.
So that's 7 total.
7 total. How would you feel if they were to make a second movie? How would you feel if they killed him off?
Oh, actually, I don't know about that. I mean, like, you see Sylvester Stallone like be a mentor to Adonis.
Right.
So to have him like die in the second movie, that could like crush Adonis' career, or maybe he go into a depression.
Right. And also note that he has cancer in this movie. But what would you say that he has cancer? And I forget the exact type they said in the movie, but they said some cancers are treatable for, not curable, but definitely treatable to the point of
at the earliest stage.
They did say there was an earliest stage too. So I definitely think that if they were to do this, they could cure Rocky and have him going on for like the next 2 or 3 more movies with a Creed trilogy, if you will.
Yeah.
They could do that. I mean, I don't know how the Rocky franchise would go after that. Maybe they're like a Mickey movie. No, I'm just kidding. Joking, people. There's not going to be a Mickey prequel to Rocky, okay? I'm just kidding. I like to joke around sometimes.
What really impressed me was the cinematography in this movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Why don't you tell them about the cool fight scene?
Yes. There was a false fight in the movie.
Right.
It was Adonis versus...
It was a smaller fight between one of the smaller champions of the world and this.
It was a proving match.
It was a proving match.
Adonis is the new Creed.
Right, and the cinematography was one of the coolest things they did.
It was the entire fight was all in one take.
It was hard,
no cuts,
incredible. Like there was no cut scenes at all. Like, this was just one shot of like, okay, he's doing this. We got to get out of the way now because he's gonna fight towards us. So it was one shot between 2 rounds?
Yeah.
It was 2 rounds of just one take, and that was a beautiful
I think it was like 5 minutes long. Something.
It was like a 5-minute thing, or maybe 6 because each one's about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But I think overall, look, if you wanted to rate this movie right now, you've not seen Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Rocky 5 sucks, just letting you know. If you've not seen any of them, you just saw Creed. What's your 1 through 10 number?
Probably a 9.
Probably 9 out of 10?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go the same route. I'm going to go a 9 out of 10 as well, folks. And look, I'm going to start to wrap this video up here for now. But look, the acting was incredible. The Sylvester Stallone probably gave one of his best performances of his career since Rocky 1. Michael B. Jordan killed it. The whole cast crushed their roles. It told a progression story that was based on an older franchise. Now we move forward into this new stage of Rocky's life and into it was a great. The word I said before was it was a great transition movie.
Yes. Between
a Rocky movie and a Creed movie.
Yeah, because usually we see it from the past movie. We see Rocky in the ring.
Yeah.
And now we see a new guy. Yes. Rocky as the mentor.
And for those of you who saw Rocky 6, he's like 60, 70 years old, and he gets back into the ring, and he's trying to like, he's going at it. He go, I got man, yo. He's 60 years old and he's still doing that. So that's what shocked me about that. But it was a great send-off. Look, Creed, I'm going to get 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. This movie was spectacular. I'm telling you right now. You may have your doubts about it. Do not have your doubts. Go see this incredibly... Look, if they didn't make this movie and if they had just had Rocky 6, I would have been satisfied with this franchise. But the fact that they made this movie and they wanted to continue the story and see where people went from here, this was a great send-off for Rocky, but a great transition to a new era of Creed. I guarantee you, if this movie makes about $70-80 million opening weekend, there's going to be a Creed 2 and 3 announced immediately. I'm going to bet your horses on that. What would you say? 2 or 3?
I would definitely agree with you there. It's like, with that success of a transition, they're probably going to make it.
Right. Now, the question is, will Ryan Coogler, the director, return? Because if he doesn't return, then I don't know what we're going to do about that. Because he was one of the main... He wrote it. He directed it. He was one of the guys... He was the guy that brought this thing to life in the first place. Because originally he approached Stallone and said, look, I have an idea. What do you think about it? And they made this movie. And this movie kicked major butt. So, look, we can go on this movie for hours upon hours. But for Andrew Schultes... JT Mahoney, for this review of Creed. 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Go see it. Go see this movie. For the Super Review Show. We'll see you later.